Hello friends and welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am your host Tom Downey. On today's video we're taking a look at some possible Dak Prescott replacements. That's what many of you have asked for. I'm not a huge fan of the idea and I'll explain why as we go through all of these different options here. But it is being discussed and we feel the need to do so as well. Now make no mistake, Dak is still likely to be re-signed or tagged. That has certainly not stopped the rumors. Looking at you with Tom Brady. And there are other options out there. But the math you have to do is, okay, if you pay Dak this amount, you would, of course, pay other quarterbacks less. Is that worthwhile? What draft picks could you get for Dak Prescott? And I still think the number one goal right now is to win right now. Now, if you want to tank and blow it all up, which we'll dive more in depth, that makes a little bit more sense. But you've got a quarterback entering his 5th year in the NFL who's been really good outside of, maybe an 8-9 game stretch from 2017 to the beginning of 2018, maybe 10 games if you want to go that route. The vast majority of Dak Prescott's career has been pretty impressive. And we're going to go through replacements. Spoiler alert, none of them are on the roster. If for some reason you do reach the point of no return with Dak Prescott, you have to break in case of emergency for all these quarterback options. It ain't Cooper Rush unless you want to start the rush hour and tank. I got Harrison to laugh. I'm gonna count that one as a win. It's a double meaning, as producer Brett threatens to fire me for Cooper Rush, because rush hour is funny, and that's how the offense would move down the field with Cooper Rush at the helm, very, very slowly. So what should the Cowboys do with Dak Prescott? Type P for pay Dak and M for move on. Now, as I've said before, I am open to listening to other options beyond paying Dak Prescott. I just don't think most of those are very good. So if you type in M for move on, let me know what you guys think in the comments and who you have in mind there. I will make this the pinned comment on the video, by the way. So if you want to cast your votes, scroll on down to the pinned comment and reply right there. First up, Tony Romo. I'm kidding. It's actually Andy Dalton here. Romo would be funny, but his body can't hold up, so we're not going to do Tony. I actually kind of am intrigued by the idea of Andy Dalton as a backup quarterback. If he's cut, you're not going to pay him $17.5 million, his base salary in 2020, to come in and be a backup. That's like double what you would ever want to pay. The problem is for Andy Dalton, even though he is available and gettable via trade or a release, he was never as good as Dak Prescott is. Here are the last 4 years in which Dalton was a bit banged up and also benched for Ryan Finley at one point, which made sense for the Bengals, but Ryan Finley sucks. Completion percentage, yards, touchdowns, interceptions, everything across the board. Dak's better than Andy Dalton. So if you hear people trying to claim Dak is just Andy Dalton, it's okay if you don't watch the Bengals. They're the Bengals. Just don't make that claim because it's pretty bad. Number 7 on our list, Phillip Rivers, who will hit the open market as a free agent. The Chargers and Rivers have agreed to part ways, and it makes sense for LA because the decline has started to set in. Now, Rivers put behind a bad offensive line in LA. That would not be the case with the Dallas Cowboys. The problem is Rivers takes care of you for 2 years. That's what he said. He wants to play 2 more years. The production we saw last year from Phillip Rivers was not good. I don't really know what other way to go about it there. 23 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. The complete percentage dipped, the yards per attempt, everything kind of went down for Phillip Rivers. And at his age, you have to be aware of the fact that he's not the same guy he once was. And Rivers is a decent stopgap for other teams, but between Rivers for 2 years, Dak for 5, it's pretty obvious to me. Give me Dak Prescott. Now, Phillip Rivers knows a thing or two about Valentine's Day. He would advise you to not forget about it. Otherwise, you're not going to have the same success that he's had. Chatsports.com/flowers. That link will save you 15% off all flowers and gifts. So not just roses or whatever, but the cookie bundles as well. I've made it easier for you guys. I've got that link in the comments and the description. Head over to chatsports.com/flowers. You are almost out of time. It is almost Valentine's Day. If you've waited to the last minute, let me help you save 15% off before the pickings are all gone. It's chatsports.com/flowers. Number 6, Jameis Winston, the former number 1 overall pick, who has been the same guy he was at Florida State. He is the same reckless decision maker, a turnover machine, and you would save money with Jameis Winston, make no mistake about that, but we've seen him with maybe the best 1-2 punch at wide receiver this past year with the Bucs, and he threw 30 interceptions That's really bad, guys. Now, Winston does go deep downfield at a pretty similar rate to Dak Prescott, a little bit higher there. The completion percentage, not that bad. The issue is Jameis Winston threw as many interceptions as Dak threw touchdowns, and that number's 30. It's not 11, it's 30. So if you bring in Winston, I don't really know what your plan is, because you're still going to pay him a decent amount of money, and regardless of whatever you pay him, he's going to be a turnover machine. You can't have a turnover-prone quarterback when your defense the past couple of years hasn't forced any turnovers whatsoever. Now, we are not into the top 5 yet, and producer Alicia thought this would be funny because the people here at the office like to trigger me. It's funny for them, not for me. So trigger me in the comment section by throwing in your bad starting quarterback ideas. Bonus points everyone who suggests me, because not only is that bad for the Cowboys, that's also bad for my long-term health. Number 5, Jordan Love on this list. Now, in terms of upside, Love is the one that intrigues me the most of the gettable prospects. You're not getting Joe Burrow, guys. I'm sorry, give up the dream. Love is a massive boomer bust prospect. This is the type of quarterback who will either get your GM fired or he's going to win Executive of the Year because of it. Now, there is a chance he's on the board at number 17 overall, but if you really had to go get a quarterback, you'd probably have to trade up for him. And the problem with Jordan Love is this. He's not ready to play immediately. His production from 2018 to 2019 took a step in the wrong direction. The turnovers piled up. Now, a part of that is that Love was one of 2 returning starters on offense, and the entire coaching staff got overhauled, and Utah State has no good players beyond Jordan Love. That's at least on offense. That's kind of the reality. But for Love, what's the point of drafting a quarterback for the Cowboys and then not playing him for a year? That doesn't actually help me win right now. Might help you in 2022 or 2023, but your window's open right now, as best as it possibly can be. Why waste an entire year of it? Now, there are some other quarterback draft prospects I wanted to mention here as well. Jalen Hurts is like a discount version of Dak Prescott, and really like what they were coming out. I'm not interested in Jalen Hurts. Jacob Eason, super raw, big arm. Jake Fromm's a game manager. Anthony Gordon, Cole McDonald are fun developmental guys. I wouldn't mind drafting Jalen Hurts or Gordon or McDonald on day 3, but none of these guys are prospects looking to go, yeah, this is the guy, let Dak Prescott go and just draft a quarterback. But I am open to taking a quarterback as a backup. And if you're on board with that, type Y for yes, type N for no. I don't mind taking a gamble on day 3. Because if you hit on a backup quarterback on day 3, that's pretty valuable. TJ McCarron almost went for a second and a third. Let that sink in for a second. Now, would have gone through, of course, if the Browns didn't sabotage it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Number 4 on our list, that is one Tom Brady. We're getting better quarterbacks, better options here. I still yet to come across one that I think works as a true Dak Prescott replacement, because it's not 2015 anymore, guys. Brady is not the same guy he was in his prime. He is the greatest quarterback to play the game. But I'm trying to win a Super Bowl in 2020 or 2021 or 2023. Mid-40s Tom Brady doesn't do that for me. And it also doesn't fix anything at the quarterback spot long term. So you bring in Brady, you let Dak Prescott go, your quarterback play is worse. Tom Brady didn't do much this year. Yeah, the offense wasn't that great. A, because he's not the same guy anymore. And B, that defense was awesome, though, for the Patriots. They had a great one, and they still didn't do a whole lot. The reality is, in the year 2020, Dak Prescott is better than Tom Brady. That's just a fact right now. The sooner we accept that, the sooner we can move on to, if you really do want to replace Dak, a better option. Because if you bring in Tom Brady, maybe you win 8 games next year. Maybe you win 7. Maybe you get lucky, you win 9. You're not going to compete for a championship. You're not at this point in his career. And you're not quite going to be high enough to get an early round quarterback. And you're caught exactly where you shouldn't be. Brady's not bad. He's just not as good as Dak Prescott. So if you go with Tom Brady, all of a sudden, you're kind of in a pretty tricky spot there for the Dallas Cowboys. Number 3 is Cam Newton. Now, Newton has dealt with injuries in recent years, but he might be gettable in a trade. Maybe you could do something like Dak Prescott for Cam Newton and picks. And if I was getting MVP Cam Newton, I'm very intrigued by that. That's actually interesting to me as a possible option. The problem is, why would I think I'm getting MVP caliber Cam Newton? That's not the guy we've seen. We saw parts of it in 2018 before the injury set in. And the reality is for Cam Newton, why would I trust him to be healthy? If I was guaranteed a fully healthy Cam Newton, I'd have interest. But now you've got a soon-to-be 31-year-old Newton coming off of multiple injury concerns. That's a big-time red flag for me. That is not something that I trust. So again, if I could get, probably not 2016 Cam Newton, probably 2017 Cam Newton, I'm intrigued by that. But as we sit right now, that's not intriguing to me. I don't value that for where the Cowboys are currently at. That's not a route that I really want to go down because of the injury concerns. If he was healthy, different discussion. He's not right now. That's where we sit. Also got a deal for you guys. Head over to chatsports.com/Cowboys hats. That's chatsports.com/Cowboys hats. I'm not sure how much longer this deal will be available, but 40% off on all types of styles and colors and fits and bills, all of it. It is on to up to 40% off at chatsports.com/Cowboys hats. So go check the comments, check the description as well. I've got the link in there for you guys, but if you're smart and can remember it, it's simply chatsports.com/Cowboys hats. Moving on now to number 2 on our list. This is our top draft option. That is Justin Herbert. You could throw Tua in here, but if Tua's medical checks out, he's not getting past the Cowboys at the Dolphins at number 5. There's just no way. And if medical doesn't check out, probably not the route you guys want to go. So Herbert could maybe be this option. Maybe you're the Cowboys. You can use a Dak Prescott trade to move up and try and get Justin Herbert, move up to a team. Maybe the Panthers want to make a deal, or the Chargers, and then you get in that position there. The problem is the money you save from paying Dak Prescott now comes at the cost of draft picks. And I know many people are like, well, just draft a quarterback. It's easy. That's the issue. It's actually not. And I think we wildly overestimate how easy it is to make good draft picks. Let's take a look here. First and second round picks from the past 4 years. Who are you guys taking over Dak Prescott right now? Not Drew Lock, not Dwayne Haskins, not Daniel Jones, not Kyler Murray. Maybe Kyler Murray in a couple years, but not right now. Absolutely not. And then as you continue to go along, 2018, not Baker Mayfield right now, not Sam Darnold right now, not Josh Allen right now, definitely not Josh Rosen, yes on Lamar Jackson. So we got one so far. 2017, certainly not on Mitchell Trubisky, yes on Patrick Mahomes, and probably yes on Deshaun Watson as well, definitely not Deshaun Kaiser. And then 2016, not Jared Goff. If Carson Wentz is fully healthy, that's a discussion, but when is that actually the case? The guy the Cowboys wanted, Paxton Lynch and Christian Hackenberg. That list, guys, is not good. Now, yes, first-round picks are more likely to hit at quarterback than other spots, but here's the reality of the NFL draft. It's a crapshoot. You miss a lot. You're like 3, maybe 4 for 13 on quarterbacks you take over Dak Prescott. So the just draft a quarterback mentality, you're probably going to be disappointed. And if the Cowboys got their way originally, you'd still be looking for one because Paxton Lynch ain't it. Here's what you guys have to do. You can't treat Dak Prescott like a 4th rounder anymore. This is still told to me like Dak was a 4th round pick for a reason. That reason was the NFL was wrong. We were wrong on him. So if you just want to say, oh, just draft a quarterback, it's easy, you're going to be set up for massive disappointment. Could Herbert be better than Dak Prescott? Sure. I think having a known thing is a lot more valuable than hoping a quarterback ends up being better. Number 1 on the list here, that is Teddy Bridgewater. As you guys know, I am pro Bridgewater, but I'm more pro Dak. Of the break in case of emergency options behind the mystery quarterback door, Teddy Bridgewater makes the most sense. I think he's proven he can be a starter with the New Orleans Saints. He could also leave the Saints for more money and playing time elsewhere. He's the best of the other options. The problem is that it's still not an upgrade. It's a downgrade, plain and simple. Look at the numbers for Teddy Bridgewater. There's still a myth out there that Dak Prescott is a dink and dunk quarterback. That's just BS. Look at the average depth of target, how far downfield a quarterback throws the football. There's a 3-yard difference. Teddy Bridgewater, last in the NFL. The role that he played for the Saints, he was effective at, but Teddy Bridgewater is not an upgrade. So it comes down to, okay, how much money could I save going from Dak to Bridgewater? Let's say you get Dak, don't go on the high side of Dak Prescott. Let's say it's 36, 37 million. Let's say you go for the lower side for Teddy Bridgewater. That's still probably going to be around 25 million. That 12 million is intriguing to me. Would you rather have Dak Prescott or Teddy Bridgewater and Robert Quinn? Frankly, I'm still going to go with Dak Prescott. I need a good quarterback. If you think Dak is limited, oh boy, you guys haven't watched Teddy Bridgewater very much, have you? So those are your options there. But I think in reality, if you really want to go about getting a good quarterback in there who can be better than Dak Prescott, the answer is to tank. That's the route you should go. The problem is that is so much easier said than done in the NFL. And on top of that, Jerry Jones, he doesn't want to tank. So you could say, yeah, we're going to tank for Trevor Lawrence, but what if Lawrence gets hurt? What if the Miami Dolphins or a different team out-tank you altogether? Those are things you can't control. And the power of control and having a sure thing with what you know you have in Dak Prescott, a top 15 at absolute worst, more like top 10 quarterback, that's valuable to me. Here's the end takeaway I have for you guys. If you want to win a Super Bowl in 2020 or 2021 or at some point in the next 5 years, Dak Prescott is your best bet. Now, it's still a bet. And given how tough it is to actually win a Super Bowl, it's far from a guarantee. But the odds are higher with Dak Prescott than any of the other options out there, even if it's not 100% lock. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.